Video games give players something rare, the chance to lock in and become someone entirely new. You can be the hero of your story, a brave adventurer, hardened survivor, mighty warrior. For once, you aren't just reacting to the world, you're shaping it. And for people worn down by the endless grind of real life, by systems and responsibilities, things you can't always control, that feeling matters. Even if only for a few hours, games offer control, power, certainty. So why do so many of the most beloved games do the opposite? Why do we play games that make us feel powerless? Fallout New Vegas is an almost biblical journey, and I mean that sincerely. You wake up with a bullet in the head, stumbling into a broken world, and you slowly carve a path toward meaning. Every step is filled with decisions, not good ones or evil ones, but decisions that ask whether you're willing to live with the consequences. By the time you reach the end of the game, you're presented with the ending slides. Brief glimpses into the future of the factions, towns, and companions you've encountered. They're meant to offer closure, and at first they do. But after playing through the game 2, 3, 4 times, going down different routes, you start to see a pattern. No matter how hard you try, no matter how carefully you plan, no matter how much effort you put in, you can't fix the Mojave. There's no ending where the world becomes whole, no outcome where everything is finally right. The NCR ending is often seen as the good ending. Democracy returns, order is restored, civilization pushes forward. And on paper, it sounds hopeful, but in practice, the NCR brings exploitation disguised as stability. Heavy taxation, forced conscription, and colonial expansion justified by the greater good. Communities that resist are crushed or abandoned, resources stretch thinner and thinner. The NCR does have good values, but its systems are just unsustainable. And history tells us exactly where that road leads. Then there's Caesar's, Caesar's Legion, take your pick. The ending most people will label as the evil ending. It's peace through force, stability through terror. Raiders vanish, trade routes become safe, and corruption is wiped out. Not through reform, but through execution. Replaces chaos is cultural genocide. Entire tribes are erased, women are stripped of their rights and identities, innovation dies. Order exists, but only because resistance is punished publicly and brutally. The Legion brings stability, but does so by destroying everything that makes humanity worth preserving. Mr. House's ending might be the most deceptive of all. At first glance, it feels hopeful and even impressive. A brilliant visionary with the technology to rebuild civilization. A man who planned for the future when everyone else gave up. But House's Vegas is a gilded cage, a dictatorship polished with neon lights and Securitrons. Power is centralized permanently. Dissent is impossible. The future belongs not to the people of the Mojave, but to one man's ideals. Ideals that can never be questioned, challenged, or changed. Finally, there's independent Vegas. No masters, no taxes, no outside control. It's total freedom. For the moment, it feels like the most empowering outcome out of them all. But the courier doesn't become a leader, it becomes a myth. Any authority dissolves, power fragments, and chaos rushes in to fill the vacuum. Old hierarchies fall, only to be replaced by new ones. Violence doesn't disappear, it decentralizes. Sure, the Mojave may be free, but it's more unstable than it ever was. Simply removing authority doesn't remove hierarchy. Something or someone will always replace it. Sometimes the most honest stories aren't about power, they're about learning what you can't control. Pathologic 2 is a game I truly believe everyone should play at least once, where Fallout overwhelms you with choices and still leaves you powerless. Pathologic does something crueler. It strips away these choices, not by taking them away. No, Pathologic leaves you begging and praying with every decision you make, hoping just maybe it won't be as catastrophic as the last. Pathologic makes things personal. No longer are we talking about powerlessness within a system, but within you, your community. Pathologic 2 puts you in the shoes of a doctor visiting a town out in the steppe, which happens to be in the midst of a deadly epidemic. You do your best to save people, to take control of a town slowly losing itself. You help in any way you can, fetching items, making deals, and making different choices along the way. It's not long before you realize the game doesn't wait for you. Time goes on, resources deplete, and the cost of your decisions weigh heavier every moment. And by now, you've learned. You can't save everyone. In the world of pathologic, powerlessness isn't a consequence. It's the reality. It's a lesson you are learning every moment. You are not the hero who came to save the town. You are just another person trying to make a difference in a world that doesn't even notice you, let alone bend to your will. Spec Ops The Line starts like your average military power fantasy. You are Captain Martin Walker, sent on a reconnaissance mission with your elite 3-man team. There's a sense of order and control. You have your objective, a clear path forward, and trusted men who have your back. You know your purpose, and you act on it. Moving forward, tensions begin to rise as situations escalate. You often have to make difficult decisions under pressure, and the game never takes away your ability to make these decisions. In fact, it constantly enables it, watching as you push forward and justify your actions. Unlike Fallout, where systems fail regardless of your intent, or Pathologic, where circumstances make failure inevitable, Spec Ops forces you to confront a different kind of powerlessness. You are powerless to find a clean solution, powerless to undo what you've already done, powerless to stop the mission without abandoning the only framework of meaning you have in life. Every decision you make feels like progress, a step in the right direction, and that in itself becomes the trap. You've been conditioned to move forward, complete the objective, finish the mission, and go home a hero. But when reality begins to shine through the facade, you start to see the harm you've caused, the damage that's been done, and it's too late. You are no hero. Spec Ops The Line reveals a deeply uncomfortable truth. Being powerless doesn't always come from a lack of choice. Sometimes it comes from being unable to escape the consequences of your choice. You keep going not because you're forced to, but because stopping would mean admitting what you've already done, who you've already become. By the end of the game, you're left feeling hollow and reflecting how you got here. You start to realize the moment you thought you were in control was when you finally lost it. Together, these games reveal something unsettling. Powerlessness isn't the absence of control. It's the moment you realize control was never the same thing as freedom. We play games to escape the weight of reality, to feel powerful, decisive, and in control. But some games refuse us that comfort. They ask us to sit with guilt, with limitations, with consequence. Not to punish us, but to remind us what choice actually costs. Hi everyone, it is Aki. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit longer than the first one, but I hope that you guys enjoy this format. Kind of dipping my toes in the water with these games. I would love to do longer, more in-depth videos on each of them individually in the future. So please let me know if that's something you guys would like to see. If you made it this far, thank you so much for your time and for your support. And I will see you in the next one.